I'm gonna get the recording.
Okay.
Yeah, I got the recording going so that people can watch it in the time that they have, which is always helpful, I find, for everybody. 'Cause people's lives are so busy. Welcome to the Animals and Oils class. And I know that I have all kinds of animal lovers who have been waiting for this class because this topic actually is one of the most requested by far and one of the most one of the biggest topics for people with strong opinions and controversy and often very bad information. So we are going to break it all down here tonight together. And so when you leave, you are going to have lots of tools for caring and treating your animals, no matter whether they're pocket size or barn size. We go right through a whole bunch of them. We've got you covered in terms of animals for this. So my name is Chris Rosima, and I am your host for this tonight. I've been a Young Living rep since 2017. And I use essential oils on my animals, on my dogs, and around them all the time. But I understand that people have concerns and have questions, and this class is going to be perfect for that. So if you have questions, just ask away, and as we go through it, we will get you some answers. And if there's an answer that I don't have immediately, I will find out and I will let you know. But tonight we're going to talk about why essential oils are perfect for our animal friends. And you know that we all connect so deeply with our animals that they're just members of the family, and we want them to have a wonderful, healthy life. We want them to get better fast when they're ill and just have overall general good health for as long as possible. And despite what you might have heard, especially on the internet, the famous repository of lots of wrong information, essential oils can be a key part of you helping your animals maintain their health. If you think about it, our animal friends all experience essential oils in the natural world, all around them. They consume herbs and plants, either in their diet in the wild or when they're out in the yard. They brush up against flowers and shrubs and trees. They climb through tree limbs and leaves. And all essential oils are the harnessing of the power that's within all of those parts of nature. And so we're really just using nature to soothe, heal, and support the creatures from nature that are a part of our lives. And anecdotal as it may be, thousands of Young Living members use oils in and on their pets, right from small amphibians to livestock. But we'll go through all of that as we go through the slides. But the thing about using essential oils for our animal friends, the critical piece is the purity and the quality of the oils. And then added to that, we have the expertise of holistic veterinarians, farmers, and others who have helped develop these protocols and dilutions through their practices. And so we get the benefit of that and then learn how we can use oil safely on our own animals. Now, because almost all animals have a heightened sense of smell compared to us, oils can be very powerful for them. And many are also covered in hair follicles, which improve absorption of oils through the skin, even when oils are diffused. So that this means that these little bottles of essential oils, our plant goodness, can be very simple and effective on our animal friends when we know how to use them safely. So I briefly touched on the fact that oil quality matters. And so the same way that you want to give the best to your pet, the best food, the best care, and the best products, as far as essential oils go, The quality of the oil can not only change the outcome, but it can damage your pet skin in the process. So this is where it's different with Young Living than the majority of essential oil companies. So many essential oils out there in stores that you can buy are cut with solvents that aren't listed on the label because they're not required to be. They are grown from plants in toxic soil. They've had pesticides or herbicides used on them. They are often mixed with other oils or mixed with inert oils without you knowing about it. And none of these things will give you the results that you want and that your pet needs. And so that's why you want to be 100% confident that you are using completely pure, unadulterated, highest quality essential oils. And Young Living is a company that provides exactly that. Now, Young Living's oils are actually steam distilled or cold pressed. In the case of citrus oils, it's cold pressed, but the majority are steam distilled from plants directly after harvest. The plants that Young Living uses have had zero chemicals used on them in their growing in terms of pesticides or herbicides. And the plants they use for distilling are fresh and give you a concentrated living version of that plant. So they don't harvest and then store the plant material for months and then distill it later. They harvest and distill, harvest and distill. And so you are getting the freshest, most concentrated form of the oils in those plants. And this is why it smells so incredible and allows us to use them in such powerful ways. Now, the thing that Young Living presents to the world in terms of the guarantee that this is happening is called the Seed to Seal commitment. And the Seed to Seal commitment has 4 pillars, but basically what it's doing is it ensures that you get authentic science-backed products that are kind to you or your pet and to the earth. So things like I said, no pesticides or herbicides, using hand labor to pick the plant when available, or in the case of some plants in Croatia, developing a mechanized way of planting them that doesn't disturb the soil around the plants. And that all contributes to the high quality of the oils. They also do not ever use synthetic solvents to extract more oil from the plants, which is a very common practice in the majority of other essential oil companies. They use a synthetic solvent so that they get the most oil out of a plant. The problem with using a synthetic solvent is that you can't extract it from the oil after the oil is made. It's in there. So it is essential oil with solvent. Young Living only uses water as a solvent in their and steam basically in their extraction. Now, one of the reasons why essential oils can be so helpful is that they are hydrophobic by nature, which is so they mix well with other oils. That's important because the cells of our bodies and the cells of our animals are surrounded by a lipid or oil bilayer. So a lipid layer around a cell. Essential oils can penetrate that lipid barrier and incorporate into the cells, which is what gives us the results that we have. How are you doing so far? Everybody okay? Good. All right. So now let's talk about the big elephant in the room. Is it actually safe to use essential oils on animals? I get asked that question all the time. And the short answer is yes. So we've talked a little bit about how oil quality plays a huge role here, and so does technique. So the same way you wouldn't abruptly change your pet's diet, you also wouldn't start them on 20 oils and 5 supplements all at once. In general, you would start with lightly diluted oils and increase amounts used as tolerated. because of an animal's really heightened sense of smell, it may actually be the scent more than the oil itself that an animal dislikes. And this is the same practice in holistic medicine and conventional medicine for people. In more urgent situations, you may choose to use a slightly higher amount, but you always go with the idea of as low and slow as possible. You start with one diluted drop and you repeat in 15 to 30 minutes based on your pet's tolerance or your animal's tolerance. And this is a huge tool in your toolbox for safely using oils on your animals: dilution and distance in time. And then you also have to account for the individual animal. And just like humans, individual animals have specific needs and will react differently to different oils. So simply because one dog is larger than another does not mean that the larger dog will need more oil to balance him or her. So in fact, in the Animal Desk reference by veterinarian Melissa Shelton, and this is where a lot of this information comes from, is the Animal Desk reference by Melissa Shelton, DVM. She gives an example of a large Great Dane receiving fewer, more dilute drops of oil during a raindrop technique, and we're going to talk about that, than a small Papillon. Okay, so it's not about size. It's not about one size fits all. It's about individually looking at the animal. It's also really important to remember that essential oils can cause detoxification reactions, even in pets. And so the more oil that is used, the more detoxification could occur. And so if the majority of the oil reactions, especially behavioral ones, the majority of those reactions are actually the animal's body using the oils to rid itself of toxins that have been weighing it down. So just like when we start something and we might get a flushing of our system, so might the animals that use it. So you have to really observe your animal closely and monitor their response. And that's why this class is going to be so helpful for you. It's going to be a great guide for you. So here's some quick tips for applying oils. One drop of your chosen oil onto your hands and rub them together. And then hold your pet or allow them to sit close to you and get used to it. Don't try to force them to smell your hands or hold them. Let the animal approach you. And if they show interest in the area that has oil in it, let them sniff and approach at their own pace. This is one of the big ones, is you let the animal guide you in your approach. If you're diffusing your oils, diffuse them on an intermittent setting, and always ensure that they aren't initially locked in a room where they can't get out, and make sure that they can come and go freely, especially at the beginning. Your pet should be able to leave a room at any time if they choose. And don't start the diffuser right over where they sleep initially, but only after you've done this a while and they're comfortable with the diffusing. They may pace or look at the diffuser often, and they can be uncomfortable with the scent. So just allow them to leave the area and add more water to the diffuser to dilute the scent even further. Another tip is called the petting method. And simply apply the oil to your hands and gently pet your animal. And the animal's hairs will actually carry the oils down to the hair follicle and into the skin. And only do this on small parts of the animal's body to begin with. The oils will go where they need to go. You don't have to put them all over the animal. You can just pet them in a small area. Another tip is to only always ever start with one drop of essential oil and apply more often versus applying more drops at once. And this is especially important with cats because they metabolize very differently. They lack a particular enzyme to metabolize things in their liver. So one drop maximum, multiple times if you want, but never more drops at once. And much like humans, avoid the eye area. There is a way that you can use a very diluted eye spritzer to mist around the eyes, but in general, much like human beings, we just want to avoid oil being around the eyes, because if you get oil in there, it stings, and the dogs or the cats or the humans would be, quite uncomfortable. Okay, so I have some dilution ratios here. So if you're using oil for the first time or for pets under 20 pounds, it's best to dilute with the 1:4 ratio or more. So that's 1 drop of essential oil to 4 drops of carrier oil, like avocado or coconut. Then you apply the oil mid-spine to the tail, down the rear legs, just along the back there, probably with this petting, or just dilute it. Once you've got to the part where you're putting it directly on them, just down the back. Once they are familiar with the oils, it can be applied to their neck, their head, their outer ears, or their front legs. But it's best at the beginning, when you're going super slow, just to go down mid-spine to the tail. In general, the dilution for animals over 20 pounds is about 1:1. So 1 drop of essential oil to 1 drop of carrier oil. But you can always dilute it more based on your observation of the animal, your comfort level. Because a lot of people, if they're not comfortable, you might want to keep it diluted to the 1:4. And then you always dilute hot oils. So hot oils are things like oregano, peppermint, thieves. You can always add more oil. So dilute it a lot first and apply it frequently and see how it goes, because you can always add more oil later. And you need to be very cautious with oils and blends containing cinnamon or clove, especially on dogs, because the plants, cinnamon and clove plants, are toxic to dogs, but the distilled oil is different. You can use it, but you just dilute it significantly. Okay. And just as a product note, high amounts of xylitol, also labeled as birch sugar these days, can also be toxic. So you want to make sure you check labels before adding any new supplement or using toothpaste, to make sure that it doesn't contain xylitol. Okay, I mean, it would take a dog eating an entire tube of KidSense toothpaste to have an effect, or Dentarome toothpaste, but you just don't want to go there anyway. Okay, so that was a lot. Are there any questions there? Cool. Okay, so let's talk about.
And I have a quick question, Chris.
Yep.
Sorry.
Yep.
Just had to unmute myself.
Yeah.
What about if the dogs lick themselves? How is that if they ingest it? What does that
The
or what
oils?
could it possibly do? Yeah. If you're putting it on you or yourself and they lick it, like, is that gonna affect them in any way?
It really shouldn't. If it's like one of those ones like the clove or the cinnamon, and you have 100% undiluted on you, they might, I don't even know if they would get an upset stomach, because what happens is it mingles with your own skin oil, so it's even further diluted when it's on you. I
Okay.
wouldn't
What about
let them-
peppermint then too? Because
yeah. I would try to have them not do that, especially as I was first starting.
yeah.
Yeah. And then,
Okay.
you can try, we're going to talk about peppermint in a bit. And what you could do is, if there's some oil that you particularly use a lot of, I would do some of that petting technique with the highly diluted, so that the dog gets used to that particular oil a little bit at a time.
Okay. but none of them, like, it doesn't matter if they ingest it, it shouldn't bother them. Just I have a really licky dog, so I just
Yeah,
want to make sure she's not gonna be
mine,
affected.
I wear a lot of oil, a lot of oil, and my dogs lick me all the time. Have never even seen an upset stomach.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
That's my
Yep.
interruption.
Yeah. No, that's not an interruption. It's a very good question. Okay, so now let's talk about the line of products that Young Living has that is specifically blended for animals. It's called the Animal Sense Oils. And there is part of the line is in the Canadian store. And then there are more products available to us through the American store that we can order through our accounts. They're just not in Canada yet. But these are blended specifically for animals so that they are safe and effective, and options for our our furry friends. There are there's a line of essential oil blends, plus there's shampoo and ointment and supplements for them. So there's, first of all, there's an oil called Paragize oil. It's in the US store. It was developed to help support pets with the cleansing properties of ginger, anise, and peppermint. And these are the go-to oils for digestive needs. So this is just answering your question about peppermint. Peppermint is actually a good digestive oil for dogs, much like it is for humans. They are relaxing and soothing, and this blend, this Paragize, can be applied to your pet's abdomen or diffused to support your pet with its comforting properties. So it can be put on them topically, or diffused around them. There's one called Tea Away Oil Blend, and that is for dogs with trauma or fear. And it helps everything from storm anxiety to more complex emotional issues. And that's called Tea Away. It contains a combination of several oil blends for humans that Young Living has. One is Trauma Life, one is Harmony, one is Peace and Calming. And these blends put together work to promote feelings of balance and grounding in your pet. And while their aromas mix to elevate their disposition, makes them feel better, more less afraid. It can be used topically to bring about a calm and peaceful environment for your pet's well-being, or diffused. And with this, you generally apply 1 drop behind each ear to calm your pet. They also have a 3-step system for skincare. One is the Pure Clean Oil Blend, which is to help recover from scrapes and scratches. It is pre-diluted, so you don't have to add carrier oil to it. And it refreshes and cleanses your pet's skin and prepares it for healing and moisturizing. It has the properties of patchouli and mountain savory and a couple of other essential oils, but those are very skin healing essential oils. And then there is the animal, go to this next one here. And there's the Animal Sense Infect Away Oil Blend, and it is to support skin healing. I actually am going to get some of this for Loki because we're so struggling with his skin infection right now. It has ocotillo, patchouli, myrrh, and some other cleansing oils that actually help to guard against harmful contaminants while supporting the irritated area of the skin. And additional dilution for this one is recommended for smaller species, but you could also put 8 to 10 drops in a 1-ounce spray bottle with distilled water for some quick cleaning. And then there is the Mandwell Oil Blend, which is more healing of injuries. It has lavender, frankincense, and geranium in it. So it also then helps with your pet's kind of mood, because geranium and lavender are very uplifting, mood focused oils. So, you might not have this problem, Randy, but down here on the coast, we do not have an end to flea season. It never really gets cold enough here for fleas to not be an issue. So we always have to be thinking of it. But this year we've seen a huge uptake in ticks and then other pests. And so we really want some support for the animals without toxic chemicals. The conventional options are pretty toxic sometimes, and we've got some really good oils that help with that. So Infect Away Oil Blend is part of that skin system that I was just talking about, and it actually helps to um, uh, to deal with fleas and ticks. And what you want to do with bugs like this is think multiple layers, oils and supplements. For preventing pests, some of the good things for preventing pests, Ningxia Red, great for your dogs. Absolutely an awesome supplement for dogs. I just pour it on my dog's food. There is a mineral liquid called Mineral Essence, and it is all kinds of trace minerals that sometimes are very lacking in our diet. There's a few things. There's essential zymes, which is a digestive enzyme. There is allerzyme, which is an allergy enzyme supplement. And then there's mightyzyme, which is a kid's digestive enzyme. Those three are all very good for gut health and general gut function. And then you can do things like topical application of citronella, which I use a lot. I got little squirt bottles for the top of my citronella, and I can just squirt it on the back of them. Lavender works very well for pests, Palo Santo, and purification. Purification is a combination of several oils. One of them included is tea tree. And you may have heard that tea tree is not good for dogs, but it is a fine oil to use in diluted quantities. And if the worst happens and you get an infestation, you have all of the tools that you need. Now, the best way to deal with fleas and like pest on your animals is something called the raindrop method. Now, the raindrop method is dropping oil from a bit of a height onto the dog's or cat's back. We'll talk about it in a minute, but it works very well just to drop it and let it kind of hit and absorb into the skin. For acute needs or infestations, there is a fabulous Animal Sense shampoo, and you can bathe the animal every 5 to 7 days in that, allowing the shampoo to sit for 5 minutes to kill the pests, and then follow that up with an essential oil application. That the shampoo is beautiful. And then for exterminating or preventing these pests overall, we've got citronella, we've got tea tree, we have lemongrass, we have Palo Santo for cats, we have Dorado Azul for cats. Those are two specific things for cats. Purification, immune power, and thieves for dogs. Parafree, the one oil we talked about at the beginning, on the belly. Ningxia Red, Sulfurzyme Life 9, and Longevity soft gels for dogs. If you've got a dog that's got intense itching from bites or allergies, the Animal Sense ointment, which is a beautiful, I did a little Instagram story on it. It comes and it's quite a hard, waxy salve in the jar, but you stir it with a chopstick or a fork and it becomes quite frothy and foamy. So it's really easy to spread on your pet. It's beautiful for itching. Helichrysum, frankincense, and patchouli are also very good for itching. I have been using frankincense on the external sores that Loki has from the skin infection because it has been shown in non-related scientific study to be very deadly against MRSA. So frankincense has amazing. For cats, If anybody out there, when you watch this, if you have cats, you want to dilute the oil 75 to 90% or more, depending on the animal size. Okay, 75 to 90% dilution for cats. You could give a half to 1 teaspoon of diluted Ningxia Red for immune support, and you could give a half a teaspoon of sulfurzyme mixed into moistened food. And then for dogs, for flea tick prevention, a raindrop technique twice a week is a wonderful way to treat or to prevent external pests. Also with the bathing with the Animal Sense pet shampoo. Any questions on that? Good. Okay, so how many of us know or have a dog that has some behavior or emotional issues? And
My hand's up too, but you can't see it.
exactly. And we don't even know about times when they're sad or grieving or just stressed, like just generally stressed. They pick up on what's happening around us, and their emotions tend to mirror ours as well. And the great thing is that just like we can benefit from essential oils because of its impact on our memory portion of our brain and our emotional center of our brain, animals can benefit from the use of essential oils as well for their emotions. So whether your animal suffers from anxiety, from storms or fireworks, or there's deeper trauma, these bottles of oils can actually help soothe and heal them. And when it comes to application, same methods that we've already discussed: diffusing, petting, and raindrop technique where appropriate. We talked a little bit already about frankincense, which is my favorite for dogs. This is such a powerful oil, and it has some amazing physical support properties, but it is an equally wonderful emotional tool as well. It is a great choice for soothing things like depression or anxiety because of transition. Like think of moving or the loss of a fellow pet, or just a general big change in the household and stress. Frankincense is amazing for this, and it's perfectly safe for dogs. Peace and Calming, which is an essential oil blend, is a blend of patchouli and blue tansy, some citrus, and ylang ylang. And it is, like it says, it is for peace and calming. It's really good if a pet gets anxious in a vehicle, if it gets anxious around loud noises or storms, and you know that a storm is coming. It's very good for anxious visits to the vet, or any situation that really causes stress, anxiety, or depression. And the other one, you're not going to be surprised, it's one of my favorites too: Stress Away. So Stress Away is an oil blend. It's ocotillo, lime, vanilla. I think that's the three of them. Oh, and lavender. And it is basically the oil that saved me after my heart attacks, because it made me feel secure and safe enough to leave the house when I was super emotionally fragile. And so it works the same way on our pets. If you want to reduce stress or improve mental response and lower the tension and promote some relaxation, Stress Away is amazing. And it also helps the physical side of these emotions, such as things like elevated blood pressure, muscle spasms, tension. It helps those as well. And you can apply it diluted near the nose so that they breathe it in. I like under the chin a lot, diluted under the chin so it kind of wafts up into their nose. Works really well. And of course, then there's lavender. Lavender is the mother of all herbs. It is good for literally almost everything that ails you. It is a physical and emotional support oil as well. And it can be used anytime your pet needs calming or settling. a good cuddle with a rubbing with just oil, a lavender oil on your hands is amazing for both you and your pet. You will both feel better for it. Okay. And then there's like the more physical things, aches and pains and other issues like that, arthritis due to aging. We all get this, and so do our pets. And so there are ways that we can help support our pets' aches and pains and issues due to aging with essential oils and Young Living supplements. Young Living supplements are all enhanced by essential oil blends that make them more bioavailable to our bodies. So it makes perfect sense that we could not only use essential oils on our pets, but also Young Living supplements. There's a big one, helichrysum is an oil that is very focused on healing and helping the body to get back to and maintain a state of balance. It is primarily an oil given to animals by mouth for pain control. And it can be combined with copaiba for more pain relief. This is also the oil you want to use to help stop bleeding. It will stop a nosebleed. It will stop bleeding from a cut. And then there's copaiba, which I just mentioned. It's a very gentle oil. It has little scent or flavor, so it's easy to administer. It's easy to get them to take it. I would put these things into a capsule and then wrap it in cheese and give them that way so that I know that they're getting the drop completely. Copaiba helps to augment the body's response to inflammation. So it does that so well that it can actually be given alongside an NSAID, a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory medication, until symptoms improve. And then the animal can be weaned to just the copaiba. It's an amazing thing. The next supplement that is very, very helpful for aches, pains, and things of aging is sulfurzyme. This supplement comes in capsules and a powder, and I give the capsules. And it is an amazing supplement. It is a form of organic sulfur, not sulfa. It doesn't matter. It's not this sulfur and sulfa are not the same thing, but it's good for healthy skin, healthy hair, and joints, especially large breed dogs prone to arthritis. This is a great supplement to give to them. It's also in its more generic variety, it's known as MSM. But the Young Living version of this takes it a step further. It takes the anti-inflammatory MSM and it pairs it with the wolfberry from Ningxia Red for the added anti-inflammatory kick, because most pain comes from inflammation. And if you can get the inflammation down, you're doing a great thing. It is very good for wound healing and speeding up of healing, as well as skin conditions, autoimmune disorders, and many other things. So if you wanted to make a general ache away essential oil blend, you could combine helichrysum, copaiba, lavender, and Northern Lights black spruce, or vetiver. Vetiver is a oil from a grass. You could combine them with a carrier oil and then apply via petting or dilute with water and spray gently on them. And you could also diffuse it for smaller animals and just start with like 4 to 5 drops in the diffuser. Everybody good? Excellent. All right, let's talk a little bit about supplements and our pets, because we all spend a lot of time and a lot of effort thinking about the nutritional needs of our pets. And good quality supplements are as important as good quality food for maintaining good health and peak condition. So we've talked about some of these before, but things like Ningxia Red and mineral essence and sulfurzyme, these supplements form kind of a baseline of health for the pets to keep them healthy and active. Then if they have any trouble with allergies or food issues, you can add digestive enzymes like allerzyme, which has small capsules, or essential zymes, which is larger ones, or even mightyzyme, which is the children's version of digestive enzymes, and those are chewable tablets. And according to Dr. Melissa Shelton, who's a holistic veterinarian, every animal needs digestive enzymes. If you have birds or exotic animals, you can even give a quarter to a half a capsule of allerzyme daily, or an eighth each of essential zymes, or you could split the dose between multiple meals. For cats, approximately one capsule of those, or of the allerzyme, or a quarter to a half of a essential zyme. And for dogs, one capsule or more of allerzyme per meal for every 20 pounds of body weight, or a half of essential zyme capsule per meal for every 50 pounds of body weight. So there is clear direction in terms of volume of these. Now, if your pet is on antibiotics, you may want to add a round of Life 9, which is the probiotic capsules that Young Living has, so that you can get their gut bacteria repopulated after a long bout of antibiotics. Even severe diarrhea or infection, this is a very good thing to add. And just reading this right now, I'm thinking I'm going to be adding this to Loki's food. Cats can have a quarter to a half of one of the capsules a day. Dogs can have a quarter to a half for every 20 pounds of dog. So it's good for general maintenance. And you can give a dose every 1 to 3 days for large dogs. And up very, very large dogs, you can give one capsule every 1 to 3 days. So then there's Nature Red, and it is an amazing supplement for humans. It is my desert island supplement. I don't go a day without it. Lori and I are both on the 14-day reset using Nature Red right now, and it is an amazing health booster. You can give up to half a teaspoon, up to 1 teaspoon to cats. You can dilute it in water. You can add it to food. You could give it in a syringe. And for animals over 100 pounds, no dilution is required. You can give it to horses and large animals, 1 to 2 ounces daily, or up to 4 ounces during injury to help them recover. So it is super safe for a wide variety of animals. So you might want to take a picture of this, because this is a good dose chart for dogs, a supplement guideline for dogs. And this is from the Essential Oils Animal Desk Reference, which I'm hoping is being rewritten right now and will be re-released soon. But this is a good snapshot of how much you can give based on weight. Now let's do some, did everybody get that if they need it? Excellent. Okay, so I don't know if you have them, I don't have them, but you can even use these oils on exotic animals. Just the picture of the snake gives me the heebie-jeebies, I gotta tell you. Ferrets, frogs, snakes, lizards, all can use oils just like our furry friends. It's just a very different diffusion or spray method is what's used. Water animals like lizards and frogs and turtles absorb oils the same way as fish from plant matter in their water. So you can put a citrus oil into their water or their drinking container for them to get this. And there's, there's dilution methods. So if anybody is interested in the dilution methods for exotic animals, you can contact me and I will send you the notes for this. And when it comes to reptiles, just remember that like most other animals, they are more sensitive to scents and taste than humans. Even handling a reptile with oil residue in your hands may be overwhelming to some of them. So you got to really be careful. And a simple way to test your animal's response to an oil is to place one drop somewhere in the animal's environment and watch for their reaction. Okay, so that is kind of the standard when you're first starting out for all kinds of animals. I know people who have livestock on farms and they use a significant amount of oils with their animals. You can use this on ruminants such as cattle, buffalo, bison, sheep, goats, and those in the mule and deer family. You can use them for um, uh, injuries. You can put them in their feed, in their water. You can use it for udder washes. You can use it as a post-milking cleanse of the udder. And these animals also benefit from the oil sense ointment that I talked about that you whip up. And you can use it for cuts and scrapes. And you would dilute more oil for a dog, or you would dilute oil more for a dog or a cat than you would for the large farm animals. But if you just go by the mantra of lowest dose first and see how it goes, then you can always add more. And in veterinary infection suggestion for large animals, which has been adopted from the essential oil animal desk reference, you can have 2 ounces of ningxia, 10 to 15 drops of oregano oil, 8 to 13 drops of mountain savory, 8 to 10 drops of lavender, lemon, peppermint combined, and 5 drops each of frankincense, copaiba, and evergreen essence. And you add that to a 14-ounce container, and you can drench the animal with that if they have an infection. You can even use this on poultry. But you have to remember, because of their anatomy, chickens actually breathe in higher concentrations of oxygen and whatever else is in the air. So diluting oils with chickens is key. The biggest place I see people with chickens using this is in the cleaning of the chicken coop. And you can use Thieves Household Cleaner, lemon oil, and white vinegar to clean and delouse chicken coops. So much better than the really harsh delousing chemicals that is often sold for animals. And for large animals, you can use essential oils as well. In fact, in a healthy environment, horses and other large animals come in contact with essential oils naturally as they graze. They consume all kinds of herbs. They scratch up against trees. And this is just harnessing that power of that plant medicine to use it in a very specific way. And in general, large animals will use the same dose or dilution as humans. That dilution states it directly on the oil bottle, though there are always species-specific considerations. Animals with fair or red coats tend to have a finer bone structure, may require more dilution. So redheads and finer bones might require more dilution. Again, if you're starting with that dilute like 1 drop to 4 and work up, you should be fine. And if you want to put together a first aid kit for your animals, things that you could think of are the animal sense ointment, having a bottle of purification, a bottle of lavender, tea tree, copaiba, some coconut oil in there for diluting, some ningxia red, even one of the packages of ningxia red, and some mineral essence, and a container of Thieves Household Cleaner. That would help with a bunch of first aid situations that you have. Okay, so let's tackle, we're getting late here, some practical questions about using oils on our animals. First one is, do I need to part my animal's fur to apply oil directly on the skin? No, you don't. In fact, more of a broader petting type application over a larger area of hair or fur is highly effective and less irritating to the animal's skin. What do I do if the animal's skin, paws, or other areas seem irritated by an oil? Well, this is likely a detoxification reaction, so adding another essential oil will only increase the detoxification. Instead, apply a carrier oil like V6 vegetable complex or coconut oil or avocado oil to the area. In a pinch, you can also use any fatty substance like whole milk or butter because it will absorb the oil. Remember, we said that essential oils love other oils. So you can, it's the same if you get it, if you get essential oil in your eye, you can put a little bit of butter below your eye and it will actually draw the essential oil out of your eye. Can I diffuse around my pets? Yes, you absolutely can diffuse around them. And most pets love it or don't even notice it. But just remember that they have a heightened sense of smell. And so one way you can see how potent it is to place your nose directly over your diffuser while it's turned on. If it smells too intense for you, it's likely too much for them. And you can just add more water or pour out what you've got in there and start again with less drops of oil. You can also diffuse around smaller animals, and that will help them absorb. They will get the drops on their fur, and they will actually absorb it into their body in a much lower diffusion or dilution than if you even made 1 to 4. Okay, how do I start using oils on my animals? Well, we've talked a lot about this. You start slowly, very slowly, and allow them to become accustomed to the oils as a part of their routine. Like diffusing in the morning or petting them with some oil on your hand. You don't want to create an aversion to it by being overly aggressive. And also grab some of the animal sense oils that are available because those are formulated just for the animals. You can use all the human ones, but the animal sense is probably the best way to start. My pet doesn't like oils. What should I do? So if your pet seems jittery or resistant to the essential oil, try applying the oil to yourself and stay near the pet for several minutes so they can get used to it. Lots of times animals associate things the same ways we do, like, oh, there's lavender, I must be going to the vet. So sometimes it just takes a bit of a rewiring of the connection to get them to relax. How do I do raindrop technique on my animal? Well, this depends on the animal size, but generally the raindrop technique includes oregano, thyme, basil, cypress wintergreen, marjoram, and peppermint, dripped from the tail to the head, just in a couple of drops from the tail to the head. For cats and smaller animals, the oils are combined and diluted into a single solution before application. You could do that for all of them, for dogs as well. And then after the oils are applied, stroke the animal softly a couple of times and make them comfortable. And you could also create your own emotional blend to use and use the same techniques on them. So if you wanted an emotional one that was like lavender and vetiver and something else calming, cedarwood, you could combine them and use that just dropped from their tail to their head and then pet. So, as I said, there are a bunch, I think there's 8 or 9 oil blends in the Canadian catalog that are blended specifically for animals. And that's the animal bundle, the animal scents oils. And then on the American store, there's the shampoo, or no, sorry, the shampoo's in the Canadian store too. But in the American store, there's the ointment, which you could also pick up. You can create yourself a bundle to try out for a variety of different things. I highly recommend the sulfurzyme and the Ningxia Red for them as well, even just to start, because those are 2 things that really help get their bodies to a nice healthy baseline. And of course, if you're going to be using these quite a bit, you want to put things on loyalty rewards because it's a subscription program, and it's a monthly subscription program where you can change the subscription every month to get different things that you need. But the thing that you get back is you get spendable points back into your account, so that if you wanted to buy something else, say you wanted to buy more Ningxia because you wanted some for yourself, you could use the spendable points on a cart order. You can't use the loyalty points on loyalty orders, but you can use them on the cart order. I've been doing loyalty rewards for so long that I get 25% back of every loyalty order back in my account as points. And I haven't paid for my own Ningxia now for almost 2 years. Just last week, I got another 4 bottles where I paid the shipping to come because I used my spendable points. And the best thing about loyalty rewards is you can just transfer things that you were normally buying anyway, dog shampoo. You can transfer it from where you used to buy it to Young Living, and it doesn't impact your budget because you're still going to buy it no matter where it comes from. And when you're new to loyalty rewards, in the second month, you get a free diffuser. So if you're interested in that, PM me or contact me and I can help get you set up on that and get you started earning some very good rewards back for buying things you're going to buy already. All new members right now get another 10% off of their first order. You don't need to use ShareYL in Canada. If you're in the US and watching this, you do add ShareYL to the coupon part as you check out. In Canada, it is applied automatically. So why wouldn't you want to get an account and get some of these things if you're going to get another 10% off? It's just a no-brainer. And anyone who orders 100 PV order off of this class will get a $25 account credit from me, which you can use towards your next purchase of something, because I love to see people trying different things. And often a perk like that helps you decide that you want to maybe try the Ningxia Red for yourself, or you want some vitamin D, or who knows. But anyone who orders 100 PV order from this class will get a $25 credit from me. And ordering is super easy. If you don't know how to do it, just get a hold of me and I can walk you through it. It's so easy to do. And it's just like Amazon. You order what you want when you want, no obligation, no minimums. The only thing is to keep your account active. Once a year, you need to order about $65 worth of product, and that keeps your account active. Other than that, super easy. Any questions? No? Are you good, Randy?
I'm good. I'm probably going to have more questions later.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I'm going to post the link to this in the Facebook group as soon as I get it uploaded and everything. Any questions that you've got, post underneath that, and then everybody will be able to see the answers.
Okay, yeah, no, that's not a problem. I just got more questions on that. I think it's called TOA. That's the one I'm really interested in, because I have a thunder scared dog and one that decides he wants to be an ASS. So so I need to figure out if that's going to work. So yeah, I think I want some more info on that for sure.
Okay, well, we can definitely do that for you. I can post some information on a link in the Facebook group for you.
Perfect.
Yeah, because it's terrible when they're afraid like that. And if there's anything that you can do for it, you might as well try it and see.
Well, yeah, I know thunder season is coming to an end up here. We aren't getting as often, thankfully, but
yeah,
I want to always be prepared and have it on hand, because
you just never know.
She goes a little berserk. Yeah, she goes, and she just she goes to the top of the kitchen table, and she goes to the weirdest places. So, so it's like, oh my God, what am I gonna do for you?
I know.
Yeah,
And it can be
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It can be very dangerous. Yeah.
Yeah. When she climbs a 7-foot fence to get out of the yard because she needs to, yeah, that scares me.
Yeah, that would be very scary.
Yeah. Yeah. So anything that can calm her, make her feel better, I will try.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we can get you some information on that. Definitely.
Perfect. That's awesome. Okay. Yep. Okay. I'm on it.
Did you have a question, Lori?
Okay, lady,
I can
I'm
hear.
good.
Sorry,
Huh?
you're kind of
Can you
breaking
not
up.
hear me?
Yeah, now I can.
Oh, oh, yeah, I just said bye.
Bye.
I think I'm good.
We're good. Okay.
Bye.
Thanks for joining me tonight, ladies.
Okay. You're welcome.
All right. Thanks, Chris.
See you later. Bye-bye.